Poverty. It is defined as the state of being inferior in quality or insufficient in amount. It can come in many different ways and levels. Let's take a look at just how extreme it really can be. First, we will look at the worst of poverty in this world, starting with India. Normally, conventional measurements define poverty with reference to national or individual income, or according to the number of people living on less than $1.25 or sometimes $2 a day. But when the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative went to India to study their poverty levels, they found much worse than just what the economic factors indicated. Rather than just including economic factors in their studies, they included education, health, and access to services like electricity and sanitation, therefore broadening conventional measurements of poverty so that they could get a more accurate picture of poverty in India. The study does indeed make for a sobering reading. It finds that the 8 poorest states in India contain more poor people than the 26 of the poorest African countries combined. It also estimates India's poverty rate at about 55%. This is twice the official figures calculated by India's Planning Commission. Next, let's take a look at poverty at its best in Niger. A landlocked country with a surface area of approximately 1.3 million square kilometers, Niger is one of the world's least developed nations. Its population of more than 16 million is growing at an annual rate of 3.3%. Some 52% of Nigerians are under 15 years of age, and 84% live in rural areas. Less than a third of adults are literate. Niger ranked last in 2013 Human Development Index of the United Nations Development Program, with 76% of its people living on less than $2 a day, although the country has made gain in GDP per capita, infant mortality, and education in recent years. Poverty and social inequality have yet to decrease significantly. Poverty is deepest in Niger's rural areas. Rural women and girls are among those worst affected by limited access to basic social services, credit, and employment. Government revenues are highly dependent on proceeds from the agriculture sector, which generates almost half of Niger's GDP. Unfortunately, poverty reduction in Niger is constrained by impact of climate change, something no one can control. With rural households facing recurrent droughts and food crises, this jeopardizes their ability to carry cereal stock or other assets over from one year to the next. It is hard to believe that Niger will ever be able to climb out of its deep poverty levels. All countries have poverty. Some believe that it is just the ones containing cultural lag, but we have shown otherwise. Poverty is one of the many ways that a country's ideal culture is separated from their real culture. No one wants poverty, yet it still exists. Unfortunately, it paints a very gruesome scene in countries as well. It is a scene that often creates a cultural shock for ones who have never experienced it before. It is something outside of their norms. It could be differing values, beliefs, or simply the type of language spoken by those in poverty that create this shock. However, those who are shocked by poverty are not the people we should be focused on. It is the ones who look over poverty as any normal part of their lives, the ones who live in it every day. They're the ones we need to focus on. They're the ones that need our help.